Hi everyone, welcome to my Reception Show. My name is Fariba, and this morning, just about an hour or so ago, we got a brand new trailer for the upcoming movie Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm super excited to see this film because, of course, we got Deadpool, we got Wolverine that's back, and of course it's going to be in the MCU. We've actually seen the first trailer way back, I believe it was the Super Bowl. Looks really fun. I'm very curious to see how they're going to pull this movie off. I believe this is the only MCU movie that's going to be coming out this year, and they kind of need this type of movie because, of just the trajectory right now in terms of the MCU and just the quality of everything. This is exactly the movie that the MCU really needs to to have that bit of that revamp, basically. So I'm super excited to see Deadpool Wolverine. We've seen the first trailer, of course. We know for a fact that Wade is going to be working alongside the TVA. As to what's going to happen, we don't know. But of course, that trailer never really... we were getting, lots of references of Wolverine. We actually did get to see Wolverine at the end of the trailer, but we haven't seen a full outlook of what happened to Logan. Or the fact that, why is he in this movie, what kind of variant he is, because I'm going to assume that it's not, the Logan that we're seeing here is not the same one that we saw in the original X-Men series, so that's going to be a big question. But just seeing this dynamic between Wade and Wolverine is also going to be a key thing, right? And now that the trailer is out, it's pretty clear that this is going to be very focused on Logan because the teaser also came out. Well, there was a teaser that came out yesterday and it was very, very focused on Logan. And I would imagine that this is going to be the perspective is going to be shifting towards Logan. So this is actually going to be our first trailer where we're going to see a little bit more of, what happened to Wolverine or who is this Wolverine. And maybe we might even get some plot details because this is the second trailer and we're about today is April. We're in April now. So we're just about a couple months away from the movie's release. So it's really right there. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the second trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick, so upsy daisy.
Here we go.
Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about. Not my fucking problem. Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
World? Are we talking about?
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
What?
Was haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
Okay. Oh my god.
I don't know anything about saving worlds.
Oh my god.
But you do.
The iconic look right there.
I'm no hero.
They pulled
You
out
were
the
an
slits.
X-Man.
You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now.
Oh, what's that? Hold up, what's that? Oh, I think I know who that was.
Boys are so silly.
That's like... Isn't that like... Oh. What's it? What?
Big slow motion action sequence.
Yeah, the Mad Max. Oh my
Who
god.
knows if you live or die?
Oh my god.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Wanna do some cocaine?
What?
Cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian mafia?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowman?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupter?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
Too meta. That was the second trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I mean, what can I say? That was there's just so much to break down, because I mean, there's questions, there's so much to break down. I don't even know where to start. So let's start off with Logan, right? Because this is what this trailer is primarily focused on. We finally see footage of Logan in this trailer. A lot of Logan footage. We see that this dynamic between Logan and Deadpool. How, of course, it's not like, oh, they're like best friends or anything like that. It's obviously there is kind of this tension between them. Like there is definitely that space between them where they're not exactly friends, but they have to be at least be some allies in some form. And I absolutely love that. I mean, this is something that's been playing off for a long time. Something that we never really got to see kind of come into full picture, because of course the only time we actually saw them together was way back in Wolverine and Wolverine Origins, and we know what happened with that, right? And ever since then, we just never got this dynamic, this duo between them. And finally, we've gotten it. And this trailer did not disappoint. I mean, just seeing the scenes that we see between them, you can tell there's just a lot of tension going on between them. Wolverine absolutely does not like Wade, which is what we would all imagine. I absolutely love this sort of relationship that we're seeing. I mean, this is what has been teased for a long time. Like, they're frenemies for a reason, right? So I love this whole vibe that we got out of this trailer. It's the correct sort of tone that we wanted out of this trailer. So that's one thing right there. Definitely the one I have a question is regarding Logan, right? So, or Wolverine, like what type of Logan Wolverine are we dealing with here? Because we already know what happened way back in, what was it, 2017, I believe, was technically the last film with for Hugh Jackman before, of course, you know, this movie. But we know what happened back in Logan. His character died after sacrificing his life to save the kids. That happened. Now they do imply in this trailer that something does happen to his world, that he failed to like save it, protect it. I wonder if this is the same universe that we're seeing from the ones that we saw in like the original X-Men, or this is gonna be a different this is going to be a different universe, different dimension that we're dealing with in terms of Wolverine, or what kind of Wolverine that we're dealing with here. So I definitely do wonder if this is the same world or if we're dealing with a different world. I mean, we're probably going to get a little bit more of those contexts when we do watch this movie, but it is implied, of course. It's very much, I mean, Wade basically says this, that, you know, or not Wade, I believe it was Mr. Paradox. I hope I'm saying his name right, played by Matthew McFadden, or McFadden, that he failed to protect his world or something like that. Like, his world completely has gone, or something clearly happened to his dimension, and he seems to be traumatized by those events. So we know that is going to be the backstory for this Logan right here. We don't know anything beyond that, but because of everything that has transpired, we know for a fact that at some point Logan and Wade are going to team up and save something, right? We still don't know what universe they're saving. Are they saving the primary sacred timeline that we have been following since the MCU has launched, or they're going to be in a different universe? But there's definitely questions about that, of course. Now, let's jump into some of the footage that we did get in terms of the villain. So the villain is played by none other than Emma Corrin. I don't know if you are aware of who they are, but they are very well known for playing this character of, well, not character, but playing the real life figure of Princess Diana in The Crown. So I already knew who they were for a long time. And of course, since their casting, there has been a lot of speculation about, okay, who is Emma Corrin playing? There's been a lot. I believe there's been a almost near unanimous decision that who they are playing is probably Cassandra Nova. And if I'm getting this correct, I believe the character is a daughter of Charles Xavier. So I might not be correct on that. I'm not too familiar with the character, but it does seem as though that character is going to be the villain of this movie. We see a couple of footage here and there of Emma Cran playing the character. There's even one point where I believe it's Cassandra Nova, or the villain is basically controlling. I can't remember. I believe it was Wade. Controlling Wade or Wolverine. It's been a while. But they're controlling them, and it seems so that the powers that she's manifesting in that trailer is not far off from Charles Xavier, right? So that's kind of giving me the implication, okay, I think she might be Cassandra Nova. I don't know if that's been confirmed that she's playing Cassandra Nova, but it sounds like she is playing that Emma Cran is playing Cassandra Nova. So definitely questions about that. Again, we don't get to see too much of the villain, so that's definitely one thing that they kind of held back from this trailer, showing too much of this villain. We see snippets of her, of the character here and there, but nothing more than that. So definitely questions about the villain. We do finally get to see the snippets of them, but nothing more. So going into some of the other things that we've seen out of this trailer. I mean, we see the iconic look of Wolverine. They finally pulled off the sleeves, because I know a lot of people were complaining about that, because when the first image came out of Wolverine's look, everyone was excited to see the fact that he was finally donning the yellow costume from the comic books. I mean, it's really hard to pull off something from the comic books and try and put it into the big screen, right? So I mean, people were excited to see the fact that he was wearing the yellow costume, although some people did notice that there were the sleeves. So it's like, okay, why are there sleeves? And now here it is. We see a part of the trailer where we see the far more closer look of Wolverine in his iconic look, where it is the yellow blue suit with that are without the sleeves. The one thing that's still missing, of course, is the headpiece. So there must be holding off on that for some reason. I mean, I have to assume that there's going to be a headpiece associated, or maybe there's gonna be some joke, related to it. So we'll see about that. But this is probably the closest that we've actually seen the actual costume being very close to the comic book version. So I'm gonna assume that the reason why that happened is that maybe something happened to his suit, so he probably ripped it off. I'm gonna assume that that's also at the end of the movie, because I'm getting the vibe that that's at the end of the movie. So a lot of scenes where we do see the two of them together, even one scene where Wade is being licked by Deadpool or Dogpool. So there you go, Dogpool. It looks like all of that is at the end. I can only speculate. It just looks like something that you'll see at the end of the movie. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention right there. It's like, okay, well, given the fact that, a lot of it kind of seems very climatic, that could be sequences for the end of the movie. So again, I might not be correct, but there's that. Now let's talk about some of the references, because there were definitely lots and lots of references, especially in that last 45 seconds of that trailer. There was a lot to kind of a lot of things to kind of just grasp, because even I was just like, I'm trying to react, and I was like, wait, hold up, but it's like, okay, there's a lot going on. So one thing I wanted to mention was the Ant-Man headpiece that we see. So it looks like there is this headquarters or something that a lot of people are there for. We don't know if this is the Sacred Timeline or this is something else, but we do see Ant-Man's, we do see this thing, we do see a headquarters or a building that is basically shaped as Ant-Man's head, or Ant-Man's the headpiece. So that was one thing. I was like, okay, what is this implying? Are we gonna see Ant-Man in this movie? Are we gonna see a different Ant-Man in this movie? Maybe, because the fact that we see a building that's shaped of Ant-Man's head, his headpiece, his mat, basically his headpiece. It's like, okay, does that mean that we're gonna have a lot of cameos in this movie? I am aware of one because of what they showed at CinemaCon, so we know that's gonna happen. But I having seen that one bell, I was like, okay, does this imply that Ant-Man's gonna be in this movie too? Which is a very interesting decision, because of the fact that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania came out last year, and that wasn't the greatest movie. I've actually reviewed that, so check it out. But I wasn't the biggest fan of Quantumania, so very interesting decision to to bring in Ant-Man if they are planning on it. So, and from what I've heard, there's gonna be a whole bunch of cameos in this movie, like, or at least a lot of big, things happening, and I'm gonna assume it is gonna be the cameo. So, having now seen this trailer, it's like, okay, are they implying that Ant-Man's gonna be in this movie? So that was one thing. I love the Mad Max Fury Road references. I was like, oh, this is definitely Mad Max Fury Road. Like, this is like a callback to Mad Max Fury Road. You see some of the action sequences where there's even one where they're like kind of dealing with this car and race. And I was like, okay, this is giving me Mad Max Fury Road vibes. I wonder if that was on purpose. I mean, they would have to do it on purpose. I mean, I believe when Wade was doing the voiceover, he was like, it was like mad action or something like that. So I'm excited for the action for this film as well. I think definitely one bit that I want to talk about is right at the very end where Wolverine and Wade jump into a portal. That was when I was like, wait a second, that looks like one of those portals that, Wong and Doctor Strange would, pull up when we're in the main timeline. So I'm like, wait a second, does that mean that we're probably going to see Doctor Strange? If not Doctor Strange, at best maybe Wong, because we've actually been seeing a lot of Wong in the MCU. He showed up in Shang-Chi. He showed up in, I believe, She-Hulk, Shang-Chi. Of course, he was in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. He's definitely become this really big player, although it's not like in a very extended role. Like it's not like he's there for a long time, but he does have a really prominent role that we've seen so far in the MCU. So I wonder if it might be Wong, or could this be in a different universe where there's somebody who is a similar kind of Doctor Strange, and maybe that's what they're playing off of, or are we actually in the sacred timeline? I have lots of questions about that. Again, it seems as though it is continuing off of what seems to be the end of the movie. Like, I feel like it has to be at the end of the movie, but I don't know. I'm just making speculations. But that one bit, I was very like, oh my god, are we gonna see Benedict Cumberbatch and see him become Doctor Strange again and share the screen with Deadpool and Wolverine? Like, that's going to be quite the interesting that's gonna be quite an interesting interaction right there. So but yeah, I mean, this trailer looks absolutely great. I mean, we already know there's a lot of things slowly starting to come out in terms of details. We finally got the first look of the villain. Again, it seems as though it is Cassandra Nova, so the daughter of Professor X. Do we think there's going to be a Professor X? I don't know. Are we going to see any X-Men characters? I don't know. It's very highly likely. We know for a fact that there's going to be some cameos in this movie. Like, some of them have already been confirmed based on the CinemaCon footage. But yeah, I'm so excited to see this film. The second trailer is just as, amusing as the first one. The fact that we finally got to see more of Wolverine. It's just like, wow, it's still kind of hard to grasp the fact that this is actually happening, because, I mean, if you were to ask me like a long time ago, like, oh, Wolverine's gonna come back, I'd be like, you must be joking, but it's finally happening, right? And we're just about a couple months away from seeing this film, and I'm absolutely excited to see it. I just cannot wait to see what they have in stores. But yeah, I'm super excited. That's all I have to say. I mean, I'm even wearing my TVA shirt just to represent the moment, because there's gonna be a lot of multiverse timeline things gonna go on. I know I have my Deadpool shirt somewhere, so I'm definitely gonna be wearing that on the day that the movie premieres. I'm super excited, cannot wait. I'm gonna continue to try and break down that trailer for us and just have to speculate, like, okay, what do they have in stores for us? Because I'm gonna try and go into this movie aside from the first two trailers, not getting any more spoilers after this. Like, I'm not gonna watch any more clips, any more of the TV spots. I'm gonna go into this so I can actually enjoy the whole film. I'm gonna definitely be watching the first night. I cannot wait. I'm super excited to see this movie. But yeah, that's all to say about the second trailer. That's all the things I had to say about the second trailer for Deadpool Wolverine. I'm super excited. I already gave my thoughts about it. But let me know what your thoughts are now, having seen the new trailer. What are your thoughts about seeing far more of Wolverine in this movie? We finally got some new looks of him. We finally see him back in the second trailer. What are your thoughts about the footage that we've seen so far? The fact that we do get a little bit of some teases, some details about Logan, or at least this version of Logan. We know for a fact that something happened to his world. He's haunted by it. We see his costume. We see the fact that he does pull off more of the iconic look from the comic books. What are your thoughts now, having seen all those footage of Wolverine? Are you excited? Is this what you imagine him to be? Is this exactly what you wanted the MCU to showcase of Wolverine? Let me know your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts about the villain that we just saw here? Do you actually think that is Cassandra Nova? And if so, what do you think is going to happen? We definitely did not get some, aside from the fact we do get a little bit more footage of Wolverine, we don't actually get a lot of plot details about what's going on. We know something's happening. Multiverse is happening. We know that Deadpool and Wolverine are teaming up, and we see, of course, a villain, but why is this all happening, right? What is causing all of this to come together? Why are we having a story like this, right? So let me know your theories about that. And of course, the references that we just talked about, the Ant-Man, the Doctor Strange. Are we seeing those cameos? Are they implying something? Why are they there? What are some cameos that you hope to see in this movie? Because let's be honest, it seems as though they're going to really dig deep into things like cameos. Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.